Hey everybody, Nick here, and in this video I want to ask you, do you want to know the secret competitive advantage that I have that gets me 4 times the results than most of the other people that are doing the same thing as me? Well, the reality is it's not a secret, because look, if you look at any other high performer, a performer or an athlete or anyone who's a high achiever in any field, it is no secret that they all have one thing in common, and that is they have a coach in their background. I have found that having a coach in my life has actually accelerated the results in my life 4 times than that if I didn't have a coach. And in this video of Netting Up, I'm going to take you behind the scenes and interview some of my coaches on what makes a great coach, what makes a great student, and how you too can use this to get accelerated results in any area of your life. So let's have at it. So I'm here with my Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu coach, Eliot, author of BJJ 101, founder of Mastermind BJJ and Open Mat here in Toronto. You got schools all over the place, black belt, doing big things. My personal coach for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Thanks for taking the time to have this conversation.
My pleasure.
I'm with my Krav Maga coach, Patrick. Probably saw him in a recent episode of Netting Up, one badass mofo. I'm here with my strength and conditioning coach, Chris, who puts me through the ringer. And Chris, I think sometimes you just take great pleasure in seeing me suffer on a regular basis. What do you think?
I think it's a win-win situation for both of us.
You know, one of the things I realized early on in my life, both with business and training and any skill I'm trying to master, is the importance of having a good coach and the importance of coaching in general. I know so many people are like, oh, well, I'll just like join a class and maybe I'll watch some videos on TV and like, but what's your personal opinion on the importance of having a coach when you want to progress or master a certain skill?
Well, you know, Jiu-Jitsu is a beautiful art, and it's something that, you know, it's based in reality, meaning the principles that we're going to talk about when we're on the mat are going to be the same that you would discover if you were just kind of playing around with friends. And really, you could figure out all of Jiu-Jitsu on your own. It would just take you like 30 or 40 years.
So, if that.
Right.
Right.
But the idea is that a coach can hack that process for you. They can speed that up. And that applies on the mats, off the mats, of course. It's one of the overarching principles I talk about is secrets and mentors. And the idea is that there are real secrets. Right. Whether it be a business principle or a business model, or on the mats, a certain technique. That's just secrets. I've heard someone say, is just information you don't know. And a coach is someone who has that information that, again, you might fumble your way through over years of trial and error, or you could learn that very quickly with kind of a proven concept. And again, we see that on and off the mats in Jiu-Jitsu and in business.
When I first started teaching, like I was 16 years old, and like long story short, there was just some circumstance happened where there was nobody to teach the classes, and I had to kind of just step in. So since I was 16, I've been teaching the kids classes and then moved into teaching adults. So I've kind of seen across the board how important having a good coach can be, and just having a coach in general, right? So going out in like YouTube University, it's like you can learn a lot, and there's a lot of things, and there's certain people that learn from just watching somebody or hearing somebody, but for the most part, if you're in person and you have somebody who can be a little bit more hands-on and can explain things in a nice way, a way that's relatable to you, right, that you learn from, then you're gonna have a way easier time advancing your skill set, regardless of what it is. Whether, like you said, whether it's in business, whether it's in a martial art, it's a sport, it's an art skill, it's swimming, like whatever. Somebody who can watch you and kind of see what you're doing right, emphasize those skills, and then see what you're doing wrong or what you could improve on, and find the best way to, I guess, help you see why it could be better or how it could be better. I mean, that plays an absolutely massive role in skill advancement.
first off, I would say safety is definitely like number one. So like, let's just cover our bases. Right. Safety, you're doing everything effectively, but also within the constraints of the exercise. So we're staying within ourselves when we need to. The second thing I would say, you touched on it, results oriented and effectiveness. So with a coach, you have someone to be able to progress you at a rate that they know through their own experience what is appropriate and what's still effective, how we can push and get to that discomfort point, but still be progressing without going too far over the edge and getting injured, getting hurt, and regressing after that. And then the last thing is really just for me, it's accountability.
True. That's so true.
Yeah, like you can make excuses to yourself that sound pretty good, but when you actually have to say them out loud to a coach or to someone who is holding you accountable to do your exercises, do your drills, show up every time at your appointment, it sounds a little bit more ridiculous then. So once you have that person to hold you accountable, it totally changes everything.
Yeah, frankly, I think there are times where I would probably not have come to training if I didn't know you were here waiting for me. And I don't know if this is an exaggeration, but I feel like one training session with you is probably the equivalent to like 4 or 5 group sessions in terms of progress that I'm making.
I would like to think so.
But for sure.
You think that using her would get to me, and if you're right then you're in trouble, D. 'Cause I won't break, no I know I won't wait. You're in trouble, D.
Thanks, coach. No, it's good. Well done, man. It's my coach. Well done, dude. Patrick. Don't mess with this motherfucker. I'm sure in your experience as a coach and being coached, you've had some good coaches and bad coaches. I know you might be kind of biased on this. But if someone's out there looking for a coach, whether it's in training, in the martial arts, or even in business or life, what's your opinion on what one should look out for as a good coach?
Really, I'd say there are 3 things. The number one is that they have to have the knowledge you want. They have to actually be successful.
You mean not just have read a book or something?
You know that. Yeah. I mean, you can read that book yourself. But so they have to have the knowledge, but they also have to care about you. You have to.
Good point.
They have to be someone who's invested in your learning in some capacity, even if some of us at different times in our life aren't able to actually get a coach, so mentorship might even take the form of books.
Right.
But to find someone whose book shows their passion and is them really opening up about the techniques or strategies they've used. And then the third is kind of connected to the second. It's vibe. You have to connect with them. That's a great point. Because if you don't connect with them, you're not going to really get the most of the learning. They're probably not going to give that extra little investment in you.
An instructor or a coach should be able to kind of do, or at least explain to you how that it's going to happen, or how you're going to make it happen. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, everybody learns differently. Right. Some people, like I said, are better at watching, and they just need to see you snap your hip one time, and they go, oh, it's that. Right. That's what I'm missing. Or they need to hear you say, you've got to rotate your hips like you're crushing a bug. Right? And that audible cue or that analogy is what gets them. Some people you physically need to go take your leg and twist it, and they go, oh, that's what it feels like. Having a coach that can find the way that you learn best and can kind of tailor the instruction for you.
Right.
It's just going to make it that much easier.
From my perspective as a coach, I've been doing this for 10 years.
Right.
It really comes down to like conveying that confidence, and it's something that you really can't fake. You can tell if someone's like confident and they have that knowledge. True. And it comes from experience. So a good coach should never put an athlete through something that they haven't done themselves, because you need to be able to experience what they're experiencing so that you can help them, coach them through it.
Right.
And you need that combination of a calming influence, because athletes can be anxious. People, oh, I'm failing on this rep. It's like, I'm failing on that last rep. Is that okay? It's like, yeah, of course it's okay. But also have that motivation to help you push through. So that sort of balance between being a calming presence, keeping the athlete's mind at ease, but also pushing them to challenge and make new progress each time.
Actually, that's a great point, because there are times where I failed, and I felt like I failed, and that's where you're like, dude, you're good. But there are other times where like I wanted to give up, and you're like, you wouldn't take my shit. You're just like, just keep going, man. flip side then. Me trying to be a great student. Me, I even made this comment to you yesterday that I want to be your best student.
Yep. I want to be the best student, whatever that means, and however I reach a goal.
As a coach, what do you look for in a student, or what makes up a great student?
I think energy in, energy out. Same on the mats, off the mats, in our businesses, in our relationships. If you're not really present when you're here, and that's one of the things I love about Mastermind BJJ and working with these high-level entrepreneurs. Right. Everyone's really just an A player, and they're very present when they're here. They're paying attention. They're great learners. They try to dig deep into the information, not just, okay, that's what I'm supposed to do, turn my brain off and follow through, but really try to understand, and then while executing the techniques or trying to apply the strategies, trying to see why are they working, really putting that extra energy in, and that can take many forms. That could be taking notes, that could be watching videos before and after, it could be doing private lessons like we've been able to put some time into. So the overarching principle I'd say is energy in, energy out. The more you put in as a student, the more you're going to get out.
Right.
So, I mean, obviously, like, willingness to learn, right? Accepting of criticism. Right? Like, it's okay to make a mistake as long as you're willing to learn from it, and as long as you're trying to, like, make sure that doesn't happen again, right? And take steps to correcting it. You can't fail as long as you're maintaining effort, right? The only way to fail is to kind of give up on something. So as long as you're not doing that, you're going to be making steps, and it's not going to happen the first time for everybody, right? Willingness to learn, willingness to put in the effort to learn, I should say, right? Because it's not going to come like that every time. Right? You have to understand, like, hard work and dedication is zero. There's nothing that will, like, replace that. Right. You put in the time, you put in the effort, you will see results. It's just a different amount of time and effort for everybody, right? And yeah, accepting criticism. Like, it's not, when I say you've done something incorrectly, it's not that, like, oh, you're bad, you're wrong. It's just like, exactly, like, there's something you could be doing better. Right.
First off, I would say be humble. Walk into the new relationship open to learning new things. Right. You talk to people all the time, and you're talking to them, and they're kind of just phasing you out. But be open to what people have to say, because other people have different experiences, different training styles. They might be able to impart, a little bit of knowledge and experience firsthand on you. And the other thing I would say is just that ask questions. If you're not sure about something, it's better to understand the why and the how, so that way when you go into the exercise, you're a little bit more motivated mentally, emotionally, you're invested into it. I know that this exercise is going to help with my speed, my performance, my explosiveness, rather than just doing what Chris says and trying to mimic what he says. What should I be experiencing while I'm doing this drill? Should I, like, my legs be burning? Should my core be failing? Should I feel my low back? No, I'm not, probably not. But you want to ask these questions so that you can get the coaching and the feedback and understand how things should go.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Good. Full extension at the bottom. Full extension at the bottom. Good. Last one. Yes, sir. Good. Love it, buddy.
How many did I get in?
You got 11. You went for one extra, man. That was sick, buddy. That was so sick.
Yes, nice.
Okay, now kick him in the face. Get up defensively. Get up defensively. I think it has something to do right here. Step forward. It's that initial. What was I doing there? I was hesitating. So I couldn't go here. You weren't getting your foot around. So you were getting here. And then kind of, that's what I mean, like you were kind of just twirling.
Yes. So, there you have it. Now you know the importance of coaching, you know what makes a great coach, and you know what makes a great student. So really, there's nothing left to do except to go out and deploy. Go find a great coach, be a great student, and utilize this competitive advantage in order for you to accelerate the results in your life and your business. I look forward to seeing you on next week's episode of Netting Up.
That's the one that gets people, eh? You can do all these fucking fancy kicks, twists and flips and shit, and you go backwards, you go, what?
Well, that's the one where you're like, you fucked that up, you land on your neck.